I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a wonderful day. You know I was going to say that. I always say that. I should have like this t-shirt that said, it is a wonderful day. As a matter of fact, I just might do that. But we have a guest today and they have their own line and we're going to be talking about MERKQ today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. So this wonderful lady started this wonderful line called MERKQ. It's I'm going to have her introduce herself and have her talk about MERKQ because that is a very cool and just a very cool thing. And it's all about mothers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about MERKQ and how did you get started?
Okay, I can tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from Illinois, a small town outside of Chicago, and I am now residing in Texas. I came here like 3 years ago. I just picked up, put everything I can put in a car, no friends, no family, and just made the move. Last year, during the pandemic, that's what prompted me to start MERKQ last year. Most people was franticing, about us being on the lockdown and everything. But I kind of look at it from a spiritual point. And so I took the time to kind of just breathe, relax. I walked off my job last year before any of this had taken place.
Wow.
Because I was just like, okay, if I leave today, there's no turning back. And that is going to keep me on the path and on the journey of where I'm trying to go. And so one night I was coming out of meditation and a bunch of names was just dropped in my spirit at that time. And so I'm just writing down. And this was around the time when the George Floyd case was going on. And so it was kind of like a lot of negative energy being put out there at the time. And the focus was on so much, of the murder, the killing and everything. And in the neighborhood, in the hood, MERKQ actually means to kill. But I took the negative to turn it into a positive and created Mothers Everywhere Raising Kings and Queens. And that is to invoke the thought of knowing yourself and kind of just affirming that you are more than just this negative connotation that, you even put on yourself. We put on ourselves at time when we don't know who we are. And so I wanted to kind of just bring a different light to it. And it just stuck with my spirit and it just evolved into this brand. And a lot of people love it. The name just kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does. It does. Mothers Everywhere Raising Kings and Queens. I really just gravitated to that when I saw it. I was like, well, what does MERKQ mean? I mean, I am from Illinois. Really? But I got out of there very young, so I don't remember a lot of it. I mean, I go back here and there, but I don't remember a lot. You know what I mean? But yeah, in our neighborhood back in the day, it was not good. So getting out of there was probably one of the best things that you've done for yourself. Moving down and moving away and then starting a line, what was that like for you?
It was very an easy move. No problem. My dog is going crazy right now. I don't know what she hears outside. But it was an easy move, an easy transition. I kind of had everything in place before I came here, like my apartment and everything. So I didn't have to go through a lot, everything just kind of fell in place. It was just like a divine move, and the job and everything just fell in place. It was nothing else for me to do.
So you moved away, you took everything you owned, you moved to a different state, all the way, thousands of miles away from everything and everybody you've ever known to start a company, leave your job. This is like the existential exodus is what I would call it. It's like one of those things where, oh my gosh, no, what happened after that? I mean, like there's got to be like the story. What happened after all of that?
Well, once I made the move to Texas, it was just kind of like everything just evolved into like it was my beginning.
Mm.
I looked at it as my beginning, and everything that I ever known, I kind of left behind, and I just wanted to bring a certain peace to myself. So my focus on the journey. And I didn't mention 5 years ago, I lost my husband. And he was a semi truck driver, and he had an accident on the expressway. So that's how he perished. So he was always a go getter. Like he was the one who would always, just encourage and motivate. He was a pillar in the community. And so together we had dreams, and I just could not let any of it be in vain. I didn't want to just work a job because that was something that we never, really did. We always worked for ourselves for the most part. So I did have a job, but I didn't want to stay in that space. So I wanted to create a space for myself and just make my own way and not allow his legacy to be in vain.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. There's so many different things that have happened. So many people have lost family members in the last couple of years. It's been really, really hard on everybody these last 2 years, regardless of whether it's been COVID or just a regular happenstance, a car accident or something like that. So I'm so sorry to hear that he's gone, but his legacy lives on. So tell me about MERKQ and what are the plans for that? I mean, and what are you doing to back up the name, mothers everywhere raising kings and queens?
Well, actually, I didn't want it to be only a brand. I wanted to be an actual movement. And so I'm also a life coach. So under the brand, I am healing women. And my daughters created what is called mom breaks, so that their friends, because they're young single mothers who are kind of doing it by themselves, they created this space to where they kind of step in and just to give the moms a break for a night, weekend. Then I come in as the life coach and kind of give them some guidance, just to kind of let them know that they are not alone, even though it might feel that way. And we're just creating this and encouraging other girls in different states to kind of create this mom breaks, because last week there were 3 girls, they weren't teenagers, they were in their 20s, early 20s, who committed suicide because they were so overwhelmed with their children. And even one of the ladies, it was kind of like a murder suicide where she killed the baby and then killed herself. So I'm just like an advocate because of the fact that I do have daughters. So I'm an advocate when it comes to women and just trying to bring some type of healing to every situation. So that is where MERKQ kind of extends out and comes under this umbrella. So I didn't want it to be just a brand. I wanted to be, create this movement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people don't understand, and I've raised my kids, and I've had foster kids as well, that it being that parent or that figure, that parent figure, that mother figure is very demanding. You're not only a mom, but you're a caregiver. You might be a wife, you might be a daughter, because you have your elderly parents to take care of sometimes, or there might be different things where it's just so much pressure. There might be some depression going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Postpartum depression can be a factor. And a lot of people don't realize that these are things that actually do affect the day-to-day maintenance of the person, as well as it affects those kids. And then ultimately, it can result in the tragedies that we've had, like you said, about those 3 young women. That is so sad. So starting this, you said you're an advocate.
Yeah.
Starting this now and moving forward, what do you want to gain by this, and how can people, maybe participate with you in this?
Well, actually, what I want to do as far as the brand, um, I want to be able to grow the business, of course, and eventually, because it is a e-commerce store right now,
Mm,
and eventually grow into brick and mortar, and then expand in different locations. As for what anyone can do, is I encourage any young woman to join forces with us, create these mom breaks,
mm,
because it's well needed. Because when I grew up, we had the village. We
yeah.
had, the grandmother, the grandparents are not the same as
Hmm.
growing up. I'm going to be 50 in February, so we don't have that same space as we did as I was coming up. So I just kind of encourage, them to do that, if nothing else, because a lot of times, so people are so busy and into their own lives, they don't want to give up so much time. But
Hmm.
if anyone wants to at least start the mom breaks in their city, that would do, a lot for
Right.
someone,
Oh yeah.
saving lives. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And like I said, there's a lot of mothers out there that are doing homeschool too, and they need a break.
Yes.
They need a break. Definitely a break today. They
Yes.
need a break today.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
definitely, definitely. And you and I, we have something very much in common. We're a few months behind. Like I will be 50 next year in September. And so, we were born around the same time. And it's like, back in the day, we were latchkey kids. I'm gonna just,
Yes.
be home before when the sun reached the treetops, you have to be home.
Yes.
We were able to go out and give our parents those breaks because back in those times, we used to go outside.
Yes.
And now it's totally different. This is an indoor culture, which I call it an indoor culture because you have video games and all kinds of computer stuff that these kids are just in the house 24/7. If we could just shut this down and have some safe spaces for kids, some safe parks that we can actually go to with our kids to give not only ourselves a break, but the kids a break because they do need a break too.
Yes, absolutely. And just to encourage that interaction,
Mm-hmm.
because we're losing the interaction,
Yes.
between just human to human, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the kids don't play like we
Right.
play.
Yeah.
So it's a different time,
Yeah.
it's a very different time. So
Yeah. I know because I used to play jacks and double dutch and jump rope. And what was that where you would plant bombs and then you had to kind of like jump from space to space. And if you stepped on it, you blew up, but it wasn't
I don't
real.
know that one.
Oh my gosh. And don't forget the mud pies. I was the famous mud pie maker and I got my grandmother's stuff from the kitchen and made mud pies with it. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we need to bring this back and promote going outside and even if we have to have different mothers in your building or in your neighborhood to get together and actually have an hour or two a day where you guys would go outside and meet outside and have the kids play basketball, have them play jump rope or teach them how to roller skate and just be outside. The more they're outside and the less they're on those computers, the more interactions they can get and the breaks. Let me tell you, you guys can talk about things while the kids are playing.
Mhm. Yes.
It's just a
Yes.
wonderful opportunity to connect with other people. And it would it be great? I mean, do you find that when people are connecting and they're communicating with other people, going out to different places together with their kids, that they find other people that are going through similar situations?
Same thing.
Because a
Yes.
lot of times we feel like we're alone.
Yes. And even when I'm coaching, I always tell everybody, like, you can put me in a room with 50 different women and I can relate to all 50. And because life has gave me some lessons, but I understand that I had to go through a lot of things in order for me to be where I am today and to be effective as a life coach, because not only can I understand because I've been there, I can empathize versus sympathize because I have been in those situations. And so they like to feel, they like to be in a position where they don't feel judged.
Right.
But I want everyone to start being accountable. You have to be accountable, take responsibility for certain things. So it will bring a lot of healing to situations. So you just have to have that outlet. That's all.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find you? Where can they find MERKQ?
You can go to MERKQ.us. That's MERKQ.us. That's the website. And Instagram, it's Shop MERKQ on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and put all that information in the description box below. And you guys know if it's highlighted, all you have to do is click on it. It'll take you straight there. If it's not, please copy and highlight it and put it into your browser. Click enter. It'll take you straight there. Please become a part of MERKQ today if you feel the need. But also, if you find that you know people who need to be a part of MERKQ, please suggest them as well, because we all need to be that one person that shines the light on situations and lets people know that they're not alone. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dream Chasers Radio. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys, have a wonderful day and bye.
Bye-bye.
I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare.